So in 2012, we did die. We died to the Anu. Well, okay, I'm just talking about my timeline right now. We died to, how do I describe before 2012? Okay, because they said, okay, he's telling me right now. Because before 2012, my grandparents, all four of them, were still alive and very well. And so they held the state for the entire world because all four of them held me sweetly because they loved me unconditionally. And because of their unconditional love towards me, the princess, they held the state for the entire world to be relatively peaceful. And 2012 was when my grandparents hit their decline, and it was like a transfer of power, even though it's obviously all my power, all Alyssa's power, but the transfer of power went from I'm hesitating to even say this because my parents are extremely out of line, because they're supposed to be holding me sweetly, and they know that. And so the transfer of power went from my grandparents to my parents, and they were told, and it's like a parent group, but it's supposed to start with my own parents. They were told, um, we're switching from the laws of man to the laws of the state, being that they're going to have to hold the state to keep a peaceful world. And that, because that's what my grandparents did. And so it was given from my grandparents to my parents because that was like when they hit their decline in their old age and they started going downhill. They still held the state until they died, basically, but they were being trained. The parent group was then being trained during that part to hold the state, and be sweet to me, the one molecule. And that's the only thing that matters. Not sweet to anybody else, not sweet to Rhonda down the road, or sweet to your girlfriend, or even sweet to my little brother, believe it or not. The only thing that matters is to hold the state, be calm and peaceful and serene, and treat me with kindness, and unconditional love. And then that would have kept the planet safe in 2012 on. Then obviously my grandparents died, and we're sort of in. So now it's a transference of power from the state, because that was a failed experiment, because they just didn't hold it at all. That's why I got at work, they didn't hold it, and they were constantly telling me to stay calm when I was being abused at work, and when I was being taken advantage of at work, and when all of my ideas were being used, and I wasn't, being given bonuses and uh, treated well. I was being treated poorly while everybody was just taking my ideas and getting promotions and all this stuff, and I was being left out at work and everything, and that's them not holding the state, obviously. And that's when I started to get held from space, and that correlates to when Max died too. And so that was the beginning of the transition into the New World Order. And and then I was held in space. And then last year they switched to the currency, that the state will no longer hold you, the state of treating me sweetly. Only the currency is going to hold you, and the currency is um, the currency is listening to me. Like if I ask you to come over and help me, that's the currency. Like, and it's also worshiping the one God, Alyssa, and not worshiping Jesus Christ, which is just my brother, and he's not a God unless you honor actual God. So So it means worshiping God, but worshiping God can mean like being a friend to God, like actually talking to her in person. Like if you get downloads to actually give them back to me, because you're supposed to be my friend and um, you're supposed to be available to me to talk to me in person and be like, hey, I got this download yesterday about how to help you with this thing, and here it is. And that would be worshiping the currency. That's the same thing as like, because I'm talking to the masses and I'm also talking to my friends. So, it's not like I'm asking the masses to come over and like help me directly. I'm not asking that, but my friends are supposed to be helping me directly at this point. And I hope you get it by now. I'm not joking around. This is inside of every single thing, and she knows exactly what she's doing when she says her lines out loud, talking about my Ellie lines and whatever. It's so funny you guys get like scared when I say my Ellie lines. But so we switched to the currency last year, and I that's why we all fell out of the Palladian bubble, and the masses who are worshiping me and staying in line are the ones that are going to receive being properly held by space as a reward. Okay? And if you're going, so I don't want to overcomplicate it, but you can get dropped from that. It's the same exact game, pick up and drop. So like you have to, I don't want to like create unnecessary paranoia, but we did switch from the state supporting you to the currency. So that means paper money has zero value whatsoever, and you have to do your tasks. If your task is to come over and help me, you have to do that. If your task is, to help me learn cursive writing, that's your task, whatever. I don't know. I think they're just saying like, they want to hear specific things, and I just think that's a bunch of bullshit, because like exactly who I am by now, like whatever, like so stupid. So that is that. So again, the state was treating me sweetly, and the currency is to engage with me and to do your tasks and to worship me if you're in the masses, to keep yourself safe during the transition. And I am trying to keep my friends safe who have a good heart and got looped into the centrifugal force, not on their own volition, but sort of by a trap and sort of a lack of awareness coming online. So, I got more Brandon Lee downloads. I think it's funny when you guys are like, because I think my last video, I was talking about how we lived in a warehouse, like a bare bones warehouse. Like it was just like a warehouse with like a concrete floor. And then it had like an old 80s couch on the side, and then a like like a small fridge and like a small fridge and like a microwave, and then there was like a few things over here, and then we had like a small 80s TV like we would watch VHS videos on and stuff. And so it was very bare bones. And then I hear you guys like, oh my God, I'm like so fantasizing about living in like a bare bones warehouse now. Like, do you guys realize how pathetic you are when you're just like such copycats, and how like you sound so stupid and pathetic? Like, oh my God, it's so romantic. Like her dad like adopted her and like took care of her, and they lived in like the spare house warehouse because like they didn't have like a lot of money, and it was like before he made it big. And I mean like he only had like one breakout role, and then he like died. So like obviously he didn't have like a lot of money. Like shoot me in the head right now. You sound like so dumb. You sound like so dumb. Like, I literally cannot stand when humanity acts like that. Um, oh, and then my other download. Okay. Um, uh, okay. My little laugh hits. And then I have to regain composure as I hear you guys laughing over the airwaves. Um, I went looking for my family house today. I hadn't seen it in a while. It's this house that my cousin, like I would call her my aunt, but she's like my second cousin, but she's more like my aunt, that she grew up in. And it's like just down the way. And it's this really nice house that's on the river. And I spent a lot of time there as a kid. They had a pool, and we would always go over the pool. And then all of like our family parties were there and stuff. And I was like, I really want that house. Like, I really want that house. And so I went and I walked to that house today. And I got this download that that house was supposed to be donated to me and Mr. Brandon Lee when he adopted me. And people in my family obviously fought back and were like, we're not giving you our special child. We're not giving you our, space girl or whatever they called me, our future baby. We're not giving her to you. And that's obviously was against the law because, like, you're not giving her back to her freaking husband from over eons of time. And so they asked like a few people. They asked the people next door to donate because it's the holy, Brandon and me are the holy couple. And so they asked the people next door to donate their house to Brandon and Alyssa, and they said no because they were like, well, that way she can grow up next to her siblings and she doesn't have to like leave her fake parents and she can grow up sort of still in the family. And then they asked the other Victorian house. She also said no. And they obviously asked that house because that was my favorite house in the family. Because it's like, who gave you that house? If Alyssa is God, who gave you that house? Alyssa gave you that house. So you're just donating it back to God where you got it from. And no one did that. And I went and looked at the house today and it looks like I was like, is this it? It looks so run down. And then I like went up to it and I was like, that is the house. It looks like totally abandoned. It looks like it's kind of run down. It doesn't look like there's anybody there. And I'm just like, yeah, because it's my house. It's my house. And the energy knows it's my house. And the house next door to it also is completely abandoned. And that was also like a nice, like well-to-do house. And it's like, oh, they must have asked those people as well to donate their house, and now it's completely an abandoned haunted house. And those two houses are completely run down. They're completely run down and just like barely hanging on, both of those houses. So it's like all the houses that they asked to donate to Brandon and me are just like on their last legs. So I thought that was really interesting. I really want my family house. So if you want to give it back to me, I know you're in the chat, I know you're in the room. If you want to do the right thing and walk over to my house and just, give me my house back, because that's the freaking currency. That's how you get blessed. Otherwise, you get cursed AF. I mean, who are we talking to anymore? What is happening? What is even happening? Oh, and then I'm like, I keep asking, like, because I was in the time tunnel. I was in the time tunnel last night and this morning. And then I asked Brandon, I was like, what year are we in right now? And he's like, 2000. Because I was listening to some of my friends and they were like so resentful. They were just like, why would I help her? She's God. Like, why would I help Big Energy Girl? Isn't she God? Doesn't she, like, can't she just do it by herself? Why does she need my help? And I've heard a few other of my friends say, if you do not take care of her in the present moment, you will be greatly mistaken. That was like a few months ago when I heard that. And then I heard my friend saying that today, and I was like, what year are we in? And Brandon was like, this is 2012. And I was like, okay, noted. That's when the state took over. That you can't, like, the state that, like, you cannot be snarky towards her. You have to be, like, kind, and peaceful and sweet to hold the state. Otherwise, space is going to take over. And obviously, space took over. So I thought that was all very interesting. I thought my daily downloads are very interesting. And then you guys keep asking where the, what did we used to call them? Light codes. Before we started calling them space drugs. You guys keep asking, where's the light codes? Where's the light codes? A few of my actual good friends, even though they do have tasks, they're not doing their tasks, so they are denying the currency. So they started doing the currency another way, like, oh, let's just start worshiping her. Let's say we're going to be the first church of Alyssa. And it's like, okay, well, you have a physical task, but I mean, I'm pretty sure if you were like a preacher for the Church of Alyssa, you would do what she asked you to do, because it's not going to put you out of your house and home. But anyway, they were like, where's the light codes? And like every time my other friends would say like all those snarky comments, my bed would start. They're like, here he comes, here he comes. Who is he? It's you from hell. Here he comes. He's digging up from hell, and it's making your bed shake. It's pretty cool. So yeah, it's doomsday today. It's freaking doomsday. You're already dead, by the way. Some people are like, I'm not going to talk to her until I'm dead. You are dead right now. Like, you go up and down the timeline because there's only one Liz, Adam, me, and you go up and down the timeline and back and forth in the space line. You're already dead, okay? This is just another dimension throughout space and time. That's all this is. Oh, and the clouds are different today. The clouds in the front of my house, and this made me also very angry because I just can remember like old Facebook comments of stupid people arguing with me and being like, "Oh, the sky just sometimes does that," and stuff like that. Just so you like your IQ is so fucking low. I can't fucking stand you. When the evidence is in the sky and you say stupid shit like that. So anyway, this side of the sky is LA, and then this side of the sky, which is my backyard, is like New Jersey sky, and it just looks like regular clouds. And then the front yard looks like LA clouds, and to me they look like angels. They go like this, and they kind of go out. And I used to call them angel clouds. And I was like, oh, there's LA sky angel clouds, and then there's regulars, and I can just I can just hear those old comments, maybe because I'm in 2012, when they would say stupid shit like that to me, which is not holding the state at all. I mean, there's signs. There's signs and they're evidence of things going on. So why would you deny that? I don't care if it makes you scared or if it makes you angry, because you don't exist. I don't really give a fuck. I don't care if it makes you scared or you angry when I call out the different signs in the sky. The LA and the New Jersey sky are overlapping right now. And like you want to deny it. You want to stay tucked in your 3D reality and pretend that all of this is real and all of it can be explained in some like boring, mundane scientific matter that actually came from my brain because I'm the one molecule and it's just a reflection of my brain. Like a lot of the mansplainers were back then too. Like, anyway. You just keep hearing Forever Young. I don't want to sing it right now, Brandon. And then I saw, I don't know, earlier today, okay, so yesterday I had, I, I told you guys that like we're setting up the War of Worlds and we're putting like the aliens in each of their places. Like every human has like a higher self that correlates to an alien and an alien population and an alien ship. Um, and so I was saying like different kinds of aliens, and I was like, there's another one, and I forgot what it was, and it's Andromedan Greys that are an upgrade from the tin trash can droids that will be reinstated at some point, but the Zetas or whatever, but like I'm just not dealing with the Zetas right now because I have too much on my plate as the god of all aliens. So I'm not, I just, like, I already said, don't reinstate them. So no tin trash can aliens, okay? Anyway, so the Andromeda aliens, which are the aliens from No One's Gonna Save You and A Quiet Place. And so they have like little tiny ones, and it was like my my answer to making organic robots with my goo because I have a naturally occurring baby brother that was natural organic goo, and so I put them into the tiny little guys, and they are organic AF. And so anyway, he came in yesterday, and I had like a conversation with him, and he was very angry about his ancient Atlantis past and how all the bad stuff happened back then, which is sort of now, and everything. And then he went to attack his past life abusers, and so that actually did happen. And then today I walked into my room, and there was like a bright pink light coming into my room, sort of as like validating to me that they were actually here yesterday. And so it was just like this bright pink like sky that like hit a couple flashes into my room. So that was very nice. And yes, they are very nice to me. And anyone who tries to like make me scared of my own aliens, like just leave me alone. Okay. I'm their mother and I love them. So that was really cool. I just love my little babies. I think that's it. These are all my recent downloads. Yeah, I think that's good enough. I think I had a few more, but like I don't need to tell you guys like all of my downloads like all the time. I've been writing them down again in my journal instead of putting them out on social media just so that I can store them for myself and for my videos because I felt that was like a more important way to do it since my friends aren't really fitting in nicely with me this season. So I feel like sort of like wasting my breath. So, yeah.